I'm Leah Remillet. This is the Balancing Busy podcast, and this is our second time where we are going to do a Between Besties episode. I started this in January, and I'm so proud of myself because I'm on my second month and we are doing it. I'm so excited to jump in. So, here's some of the things I want to talk about. I read this book called How to Age Disgracefully. It's a novel, it's hilarious. I'll tell you about that later. But it really got the conversation going again for me about the way that I want to age. And I don't necessarily mean how I look, I mean what I want to be capable of. I also want to talk about my Park City trip, getting my very first pair of cowgirl boots. I want to talk about my favorite way that I punish my teenagers and a whole bunch of things in between. So let's jump in. I have got my notes. I'm going to keep looking at them so I remember the things I want to tell you, and we're going to go from there. To start off the month, we did our annual trip to Park City. This is a highlight of the year, certainly of February. Every year we go with several of our friends. There's like 7, 8 couples. We all go together and we have the most amazing weekend in Park City. We're up in one of the ski in, ski out houses, and it is just the best way to ski ever because you just literally walk out of the door and ski down, and it's incredible. This year, though, there was no snow. The western side of the country has not been getting snow, so we didn't even bring our gear this time. And there was a couple people who tried skiing, but the majority of us didn't, and it was still the best time. We had a private chef come in and teach us how to make sushi and make all the sushi for us. We go shopping. It is so fun. But before our big couples weekend, I came in a few days early so that I could spend time with my girl. My daughter is at college there. And so I wanted to make sure I came in and got to spend a little bit of time with her. We had so much fun. I decided to surprise her and get her hair done for her. And then we went and ate and just had so much fun together. And on my way to Utah, I realized I want to get my hair done too. And what I realized was that I have not been showing up in pictures. I want to share this with you because I have a feeling there's a lot of you that can relate. I decided to go back to my natural hair color, which is brown, about 18 months ago. It was October of 2024. It was literally Halloween. I was tired of all the time that it takes to upkeep and being so blonde. It's expensive. And I was like, I'm worried my hair is going to fall out. I already have very thin hair. So I was so nervous about all the damage I was doing. And I was like, okay, I am going back to my natural color. But what I realized is that I had stopped showing up. I didn't even know this had happened. I did not realize it until just recently, where I was looking back at pictures, trying to find some pictures of certain things and realizing I wasn't getting in pictures. I wasn't showing up for my business because everything on my website, I'm blonde. And then all of a sudden I show up on screen and I'm a brunette. And I felt like, oh, that creates confusion. I wasn't even showing up in family pictures as much. And so seeing all of that, I realized, okay, there's my answer. I clearly am hiding and I don't want to hide. So it's time to go back to blonde. So I came up with this whole strategy, doing more of an ombre thing. So I have a lot bigger grow out naturally. It's like part of the look. So I decided to try to get an appointment while I'm in Utah. And I think I tried 12 different places. No one had any availability. And it was my own fault. It was too last minute. But I had a girlfriend who lived in Utah. And so I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, can you make an intro for me? Can you see if there's any availability? And she forwarded me her contact number. And so I tried reaching out and she was really sweet and she tried, but it didn't work. And then one of the mornings while my daughter was in class, I went to go meet one of my business besties, Kelly France, to have brunch. And while we're at brunch, we're talking about everything: business, kids, family, all the things. And towards the end of brunch, as we're wrapping up, I shared with her how I realized I haven't been showing up and that I had been trying to make a hair appointment, but it just wasn't going to work. And in real time, as we're sitting there at the table, she pulls out her phone and she's verbally talking out loud as she's texting, saying, hair emergency 911. Is there any way you can do me a huge favor? Can you get my amazing friend in? And all of a sudden, I had an appointment for the next day. They made it happen. Shout out to Shep Studio in Provo. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. And so all of a sudden I had this hair appointment and there was this beautiful lesson right there about how I want to show up. Like the enthusiasm that Kelly had for this thing that I wanted, where she was like, I am going to help you solve this. We are going to make this happen together. And she just got to work and cared about what I cared about and understood what I was wanting. And I just felt so loved, so taken care of. And it was just so amazing. And I hope every single one of us has someone like her who just shows up for you so enthusiastically and that we show up like that for somebody too, because I can't tell you what it meant to me and how excited I was. And it just made such an impact. The last thing I have to tell you about my Park City trip was that I got my first pair of cowgirl boots. They're so cute, right? I mean, come on, aren't these so cute? Okay, I have never owned cowgirl boots. I've thought about it, but they're really expensive. I mean, I don't really need them, but one of our friends, it was his birthday, he wanted new cowboy boots, so we all went to go look at boots and I just happened to see this pair. It was the only one that was in my size. And I'm like, oh, those are really cute. And I tried them on, and my hubby was like, well, you should get them. And my normal reaction would have been, oh, no, I don't need them. And I would have put them back. But instead, I just decided to be like, okay, I will. And I am so excited about it. I already wore them to church once. I am secretly completely planning a trip to Nashville. I wanna do a girls' trip to Nashville because I need another reason to wear my boots. So that made me so happy. They weren't necessary. They weren't practical. They were not strategic. They're just for fun. And now I feel the need to go to rodeos and Nashville, and I don't know, where else should I go? Where else do I go in my cowgirl boots? But I need places to go because I'm so excited about them. Okay, let's jump into the books that I read this month. So this month I read 5 books. The first one I highly recommend. It was so fun, so cute. It's called How to Age Disgracefully. And now I'm realizing I don't remember who wrote it. Claire Pooley. It is so funny. It was so cute. It's a novel. I absolutely loved it. There's this one quote that just made my heart happy, where one of the main characters, she says, fashion isn't frivolous, my dear. It's armor. Dressed in Dior, you can take on the world. I loved that so much. If you have a love for Dior the way that I do, there is another book, which is Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, right? Isn't that what it's called? It's been a while. There's a movie for it too. It was so cute. But you should absolutely read that as well if you haven't. Yes. Paul Gallico, I think is his name. I didn't read this one this month. I just have to tell you because they both have this moment with Dior and it just makes my heart happy. So, How to Age Disgracefully by Claire Pooley. Such a fun book. I loved it. One of my favorite books I've read in a while. I also read Compassion by Ulysses S. Suarez, which is about learning more about compassion through our Savior Jesus Christ. That was beautiful. I read Yes, 50 Scientifically Proven Ways to Be Persuasive by Robert Caldoni. Let Us March On. This was a beautiful book. It's about Elizabeth Duffy. She was a maid for FDR during his presidency, and she brought forward all of these issues that Black people were facing. And she essentially kind of acted as their voice and shared her experiences and the stories of, as she would say, her people. And it was just really, really beautiful, the Elizabeth Duffy story. She was there for 12 years through his presidency, and the impact that she had was just inspiring. And then the last book I read, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this to you that I had never read it, but this is between besties, so I'm going to. I read Pride and Prejudice. I know for any of you who are literary lovers, it's killing you inside. And you're like, wait, you read how many books a year and you had never read Jane Austen? I had not, I confess it, but now I feel like I somehow am gonna be allowed in some club I don't even know exists, but it's there, and now I can have the password because I have read Pride and Prejudice, and it was so good. I mean, I just think about how much I enjoyed it and the amount of different kind of books I have available to me and entertainment that's available to me, and I loved it. I was so unproductive yesterday because I just wanted to finish it. I can't even imagine how fun that book felt when it came out. Okay, so now I want to tell you because it kind of connects my favorite consequence that I give to my teenagers. Okay, my favorite punishment. I'm totally using air quotes because it's such a benefit for me and for them is that they have to read a personal development book of my choice. So when they do something that they should not do, they may get other consequences as well, but in addition, they will not get privileges back until they have finished said book. So we accidentally missed curfew and there were some consequences. And one of those was reading a personal development book. This time, I have him reading Finish by John Acuff. And it's really fun, it's good, and it's obviously about being able to get to the finish line for the things that we want. So instead of just starting, being able to get past start, past procrastination, and past perfectionism, and on to finish. So he's reading that right now. And I started reading it because I love to talk about each chapter as they get done. And it's been so many years since I read it. So I picked it back up so that I will remember. The one before that that I had him read was The Third Door. So good. Oh my gosh, so good. And such a great storytelling vibe. I highly recommend that for you to read. But, maybe you also make your teenagers read it. The other one, and this one actually does not fall into consequence. This is just a expectation, but that all of my kids have read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Not the newest one, not the For Digital Age, the original, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And the goal was that they each read it once every single year from 14 on. Some of them did phenomenal. I don't know about the youngest, but next consequence. We can add that to the list. Okay, so those are the books that I read. Now let's talk about the next trip. I am supposed to be flying out today, the day I'm recording this, to Hawaii. And I am no longer doing that. We postponed the trip, and I am so happy about it. I planned this trip for us back in the summer because where we live, usually it is so just cold and snowy at the end of February, but it's the gross snow where it's just become dirty and yucky and you're just craving and needing sunshine on your skin, vitamin D. And so we planned this trip, just my husband and I, just a really long weekend. I was the one that really pushed for it. But then when we were in Park City, I just wanted to get home to our son. He's our last one at home, and we are T minus 6 months from him being gone. And I just knew I didn't want to leave him again. And so we talked about it and we decided to reschedule it. And so now we will be going to Hawaii with him in tow for his spring break. So I'm really excited about that. Plus, this is where he was born. And so I'm so excited to bring him to Oahu. We are going to surf. Well, I'll probably just watch. They'll surf. We're going to eat all the yummy food, do all the fun things, and we're going to go show him BYU Hawaii, where he lived when he was first born, all the things. Okay, the last thing I want to tell you is something that I have just been thinking about. There's kind of been a theme in this in the last podcast episodes where we're talking about reframing and just being more intentional. But I want to submit this question to you. Are you disappearing into adulthood? Are we waiting for later? Like my silly cowboy boots. I waited years and years and years. I constantly said, no, I'm not going to do that. And you know what? I'm not sad because they're making me so happy. I'm so excited I have them now. But at some point, are we going to say Yes. I just don't want us to default into this idea that this is just how it is, unless you love it. If you love it, great. Then let's keep it exactly how it is. But if you need more fun, more vibrance, more vitality, more excitement, then how can you bring that in? And I don't mean it has to be extravagant or expensive. How can you just show up more into your day to day? One of the places where I think about this a lot is as I age and just thinking about how I want to show up in 20, 30 more years from now. And there's some things that I genuinely thought about and realized, oh man, I need to work hard to not lose these skills because we know that if we don't use it, we lose it. Here are some simple ones that I'm talking about. Driving at night. I have started to catch myself where I don't really want to drive at night. And I realized, oh my gosh, wait, I need to not do that. Or you give me another decade, another 2 decades, and I'm going to be saying things like, oh, I don't drive at night. I can't go. And I don't want to let things limit me. I have this thing where I just believe so deeply that we should never close doors on ourselves. If a door closes and we've done all we could, then great. We know it wasn't meant to be, but I don't ever want to prematurely close doors on myself. I try to say this to teenagers all the time because when they're feeling nervous, when they're feeling scared, they'll pull back and they won't try as hard. They won't make the deadline. They won't do the thing they need to do to possibly make it to the next step because they don't want to be rejected. But then they rejected themselves. They opted themselves out. And so I'm always trying to talk about don't prematurely close doors on yourself. But I need to take that advice too. And so I want to make sure I can always feel confident renting a car by myself. I get into a new city that I'm confident to rent a car, find my way around the city, navigate that I'm going to be okay. Driving at night, traveling solo. There might be times where I need to travel by myself and I want to feel confident and able to do that. Another one, wearing high heels. This is my own weird little thing, but the amount of times I have had someone say to me, I used to wear heels like that. I love wearing high heels. I typically wear stilettos every Sunday to church. I love them. And I used to be able to wear them so much better than I can now. Oh, my early 20s, I could have run a 5K in stilettos. I never wore flats, not ever. Now I get through a couple hours of church and I'm like, woo, I got to take these off. But I don't want to lose my ability to wear heels. So that's one of my things. I just always want to wear heels. I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids. When I think about why do I exercise? Why do I lift weights? Why do I do all the things? It's because I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids. And clearly, I got to step this up because I went skiing last week with my son, and we're actually going to go again today. And within 10 minutes, I don't even think it was 10 minutes, my quads were killing me. They were burning, and I was shocked. I'm like, "Wait, this should not be happening for at least 45 minutes." They hurt so bad. So clearly, I have not been working those muscles, and that shows me, okay, I know where I need to work because I want to be able to keep doing these things for years and years, decades. And what I want for you and for me is that we refuse to disappear, that we refuse to lose our identity, to lose our spark. So that's one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot this month is are we disappearing into adulthood? And if the answer right now is yeah, maybe I kind of have been. What can you do starting today to fix that? Let's refuse to disappear. That is it for this edition of Between Besties. There is a little spot right in the platform where you are right now, and it says leave a note. Please, right now, tell me what connected. I see every single one, and I would love to hear. Did you decide you're going to read one of the books I talked about? Are you feeling that sense of things you don't want to lose as you age? Do you have an idea of where I should wear my cowgirl boots? I want to hear from you. So connect with me. We are refusing to disappear together. We are going to balance the busy with more bliss.